We will be back in some form.
We have an army of digital soldiers, because this was an insurgency.
Hundreds dead, thousands infected across multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs, you are.
Hey, welcome to On Tap with PPN. I was concerned that you wouldn't be able to hear me. I was having some little difficulties. Can anybody give me a 5x5 if you can hear me okay? Okay, I see Bill, Oathkeeper Bill and Edward backstage telling me, yes, it's good. Hope everybody's doing good this evening. A lot of good information has come out, and a lot of good information is going to continue to come out. Thank you for the 5x5s. And also thank you for spreading this podcast out. Appreciate it. Kendra, thank you. You always share those things. Mary, Alabama Alley, I know Mandy always does. Thank you to everybody that does that. That's really important to us, and we appreciate it. I'm gonna bring Edward and Oathkeeper Bill in just a second. But before that, I had a guest on the On Tap show last night, I guess. It showed earlier at 6. Anybody that didn't watch it, hey, is what it is, but you can go back and watch it if you ever want to. We know that there's a large scale U.S. Government initiative to investigate all the I'm gonna call it the craziness that is going on, and we're trying to rectify all the systemic issues within the American election system. The president is actually leading this himself, and there's an effort to bring accountability. It's been going on for a long time, but for past events, we want a secure future, and that starts, in my opinion, with the elections. Recently, Tulsi Gabbard has been put in her new capacity as the head of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, ODNI, in full charge of all matters related to election integrity. I want everybody to know that there will be a change in the DOJ in the very near future. Investigations are going on like crazy. They are deep. They are multifaceted, extending far beyond just the simple ballot issues or disappearances and things like that. There is an active and intense, I'd say, review. Let's put it this way. Reviews are underway of any and all discrepancies, and they have been underway for a long time. This is, of course, it started in Fulton County, went to Maricopa, and it's going to go into 10 others very quick. Be ready for it. Be ready, because it's coming like a freight train. And 10 critical counties nationwide are, like I said, under the same scrutiny. These are things we've wanted to know. We haven't known. We know about the software. We know the companies that control all this technology and the political networks behind them. Just know that over the last 10 years, like states like California, Illinois, Minnesota, these things have been happening, and the information is going to blow your mind if you're into the elections. It's anticipated that declassification information from multi-agency investigations involving the DOJ and the intelligence community and cybersecurity experts will be released to the public starting in approximately 2 weeks by none other than Donald J. Trump, our president. Without after saying that, I want to bring in Mr. Edward Torres and Oathkeeper Bill. What's up, fellas? Oathkeeper Bill, you're on. There we go.
How's it going, man?
And I'm good. I'm good. Just, after my
Looking
stuff
good.
going on, I got out and cut a little wood this afternoon and doing
Ooh.
good. I'm going to have to change my screen around because if I have the big screen on, it looks like I'm looking way over here somewhere. So I'm going to change it. Hope y'all are doing good.
Doing good,
Man,
doing good.
It's getting exciting,
Yes, it
especially
is.
listening to our fellow patriots stepping up to the levels that they are, like the gentleman you had on,
Martine?
Martine. Wow.
Yeah.
Martine
So
Rodil.
exciting. So exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is, man. But did y'all were able to watch it, the show?
Oh, yeah.
Twice.
Good. That's tall talk time. We was all over. Of course, it was recorded and put on at 6:00 today, but we watched it in talk time last night.
Right.
And we were like, "Oh my God, you hear what he said? Oh my God, that's crazy." And that's not just like us out here talking, or me and Matt talking, or me and Chaz talking, or whoever. That is the person that talks to and advises the people that make policies.
That's awesome. That's very, very important information to know that it's coming from the proverbial horse's mouth.
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir. Well, y'all been looking at anything big? Y'all been looking at? You'd like to talk about a little bit, man? You know us, rock and roll.
If I may start,
Yeah, rock it out.
Go for it.
We're looking at what Martine and his team did, right? And they were more outside of the United States of America, collecting the data that they did for us due to what those foreign entities did, whether it be, from Venezuela and Serbia and CCP and all of that, right? And then we have gentlemen like Sean Taylor, who has all the housing fraud information, the Act Blue information. He has all of the internal fraud within the communities, right? And then we have sheriffs like Sheriff Darleaf, who actually found the ballot information, the illegal ballot information, as well as all of these ID cards that came from China all ready to rock and roll as though they just came from the DMV. And it's like, how can that be? Well, they have the same software as our DMV does. So that's how they were able to infiltrate. So it was it's all a collage, and it's the same spider web, because in order for that to happen, you got to have people voted in. In order for that to happen, you have to have voters. I mean, it is so big. And other things that our president has been doing forever now, but if I could just read a quick list, the old globalist order is dead right now. Davos is dead. The UN is dead. All of the networks the Clintons were all about is dead and gone. They're all cut off. To all the leftists, Obama is out of power. Hillary is out of power. The Muslim Brotherhood is out of power. The British intelligence is out of power. The UN is huge out of power. The Board of Peace is humongous. And the only thing that I think not just but we have gotten wrong is, I don't know if you could read this or not, but it says timing. That's the only thing I got on my paper that we've been kind of not wrong with, but just didn't know the timing behind it. So what's next? Huge. And I was just going over I mean, when people say, I don't see anything happening, I don't see, all of what I just verbalized had to happen first, or else they wouldn't be able to start fresh, if you will. It would just be inevitable. It would recreate itself easier if any of these entities were still in existence, if you will.
Well, you have to start tearing down the branches of the tree before you bring down the main tree, so it's easier to handle. Because these people have been doing this stuff for so long that it takes a while to be able to get to all of them and take them down, you know?
Mhm.
And going about timing, you know, we both been in the military, we both been part of operations. You know, you have a drop dead date, which is mean that all your forces have to be ready to go, you know, and that at times could be back in CONUS, back here in the States, and then the beginning of moving troops forward, or troops already forward, and then you have a date. It could be plus or minus, you know, when go date is, that's go date. And that's then nobody knows about, only the higher command. And that's the way a military operation works, you know. You got day zero, and that's it, you know. Could day zero plus or day zero minus, it's
You've
to
been
see
here
where
too,
we're
Eddie.
at.
You've been here too.
So what?
Don't even know where we're going till we're in the airplane.
Yeah, too. And sometimes you don't even know that.
I look
You're
at it as event driven. You know what I mean? I'm right there with you. You know, they don't have the ability to tell when that's going to go on. That would be telling y'all two know it way better than me. That would be telling the enemy what you're going to do.
So Operation Security is what it is.
Exact OPSEC. Yep. You can't tell the enemy your plans. You know, like in the class, they would say, oh, such and such date, you know, troop movements, so many troops, this and that. That has stopped since Trump has been in the office the first and second time. So, you know, nobody knows. It's just like the movement of all the naval forces around Iran. You know, Iran went out and put up all their air defense radars and everything, and nothing happened. But guess what? We found out how they operate, how they're going to distribute their forces, their radars, their anti-aircraft, troops, command posts, communication center. All that is already known. And it's just, you know, we're looking from the top down, the satellites, and taking pictures and figuring out, because they're going to be talking. Because once you set up a communication hub, center, command post, there you have to talk to your subordinate units to get that command and control and communication going back and forth and all that stuff. And that's how that works. And we know all of that now.
And something I like to add, if I may, we listen to a lot of different folks, and some of them are part of the same coalition. It's up to us to create our own coalitions in our local communities, because once folks understand that the upper evil that really did exist, and in our hearts and in their hearts, they being those who may be just awakening, they are going to feel a lot more comfortable stepping up. Similar to that 9/11 moment that we talk about sometimes, that day 9/11 happened, the amount of patriots that stood up, because look what happened to our country. It wasn't New York City. It didn't matter if you lived in Florida, California, Tennessee, you know, it didn't matter where an individual lived, even overseas. It brought the unity of humanity into the picture. That moment of 9/11 is what I'm trying to express here.
Yeah.
Obviously, what is coming, and not to diminish what 9/11 was for those individuals that were killed. I'm not doing that. But it is going to be 9/11 times a million, due to the severity of the humanity that was I can't even put it into words sometimes, you know.
Yeah. Well, if we know or you start hearing some information come across the wire, whether it's Edward that brings it, whether it's Chaz, whether it's Oathkeeper Bill, whether it's Dallas, it doesn't matter. The other team has that information also. Now, they're not going to let something out of the bag unless that scenario is done or in the bag. Do y'all feel that way?
Yeah, I believe that's a lot of why we don't have the full truth yet, because there's too much.
I think this is my thought, okay?
Yes,
It's just my opinion, and it's thinking maybe a little bit out of left field, okay?
Yeah, I
just
like
listen to me for a minute. All right, I'm outside the box per se, but we always talk about this death experience that we're supposed to go through. And I mean, besides of what's happening here in the States, I'm talking about outside. I think the near death, that's what it is. The near death experience that we might experience is that this whole thing in Iran is going to go off if they don't come to an agreement. If they don't, and Israel decides to attack, my thought is that these guys, the Khomeini, the Revolution Guard of Iran, whatever the hell it's called, the Yard, whatever, is going to actually shoot their missiles, multiple, intercontinental if they have them. And that's going to be our scare event. That's my thought, because that's the only conflict right now the only country that might have the capabilities of sending a missile that far, and I'm talking about coming here to the States. Now, what's in the air, and they do all their calculations, they could determine where it's going to hit based on the arc, the speed, and all that stuff, right? So I don't think it's going to hit. I think it's going to be blown up in the air, but it's going to be a near-death experience because everybody's going to be running for cover. Okay, that's
very good.
That's my thought. That's my thought right there. And I'm not in the in crowd up there that knows all that stuff. I'm just thinking, what would be the most near-death experience that could happen to us in any given situation? And that's the only one that I could come up with, other than something being done here in the United States by somebody locally, like a dirty bomb or something like that, which would be a tremendous mistake.
Yeah, big time. And just so everybody knows, all of that stuff is true. Over the years, let's say the last 7 years that I can put my hand on, people that I trust that have given information that has been very sturdy, has been very good, have given me information about, 5 years ago, we started hearing about these 21 dirty bombs, big bombs, that were out there in briefcases. And then little by little, we started hearing about them being taken care of. There was one always out there, but I think there was always going to be one out there, whether they got them all or not. We've got an operation going on, and I don't think I think you hold your cards close to your vest there. What I see going on is a scare event of some kind. I'm always looking, we've always talked about 34 cities, 34 like the different, the White House, different places having issues and things, and is something like that going to happen, or is something that represents that going to have some issues? There's a lot of things that can go on, and you can dream up anything. And I don't know that there's any bad answers, because just like Edward said, it's opinions and going outside the box and using experience and saying, what have you heard that brought it to you? Because I'd say y'all have been around this long enough that you were doing the same thing I was doing. not getting any information from any inside source, but using narratives and listening to certain people that you have vetted and said, the things they're saying, it's making sense and it's coming true. It's not on the right timeline, but it's coming true. And the more and more I go through this process, I say, wow, I was expecting that in 2020. But then at the same time, I know that before we ever started doing what we're doing with podcasting, I told Chaz a few years before, hey, man, don't take the shot. And he said, what kind of shot? I said, I don't know. He said, well, what are you talking about? I said, I don't know. Just don't take the shot. Somebody wants to give you a shot, don't take it. He said, man, are you, okay. I said, but don't worry about it. I've got ivermectin. And I had figured it up. I had, 8 cases, 10 cases of ivermectin, had no idea what I was going to use it for, but I was told to have ivermectin. I was told to have silver and gold. I was told to have ammo, a way to protect myself, food, water. Now, this was, a lot of those things are 25 to 30 years ago, because I know that because about 9 years after I started hearing all this stuff about Russia, China was not mentioned. It was Russia. And I started driving people crazy, because if they's close to me, they're going to have an emergency bag. They're going to keep it in their vehicles. And talking about my mother and father, my sister, my friends, and Chaz, I made everybody one. Here, take this, and you start out one of those, kind of easy with some little things that you might need. They're not going to last you forever, but it got somebody started and thinking. And I go back to those times and I say, how could I have known that? How could I have ever in a million years known that? And it's just the same as when I first got my computer. And then I got my phone that was a smartphone. Notifications would come up and I didn't know how to check my notifications. I didn't know if it was an email, a text, but all of a sudden they just disappeared. And I was telling Chaz about him, and I was trying to catch him, get because it'd be once a month, once every 2 months. And the notifications, when I could see them, and I didn't know how to pull them up, so I could just see them right there on the top of my phone. And they were written just like Whiplash writes his stuff. When I saw Whiplash for the first time, I said, Chaz, this is what I've been talking about. This is the kind of writing. I didn't know if that was a military writing. I didn't know what it was. But I said, watch this dude, man. Well, I don't know what it's all about, but watch this dude. And we started vetting. And now we're here, and things that we're saying are happening, and we're in good shape. And I want everybody to know that and feel comfortable. And we're here because some very valuable people, the people watching this show, the people that have helped us, the people that have participated, the people that put information on Patriot Shoot all day, all night, and work diligently like it was a full-time job, but you don't have to do that. I just want to say thank you for that, because a lot of people say, man, I needed this. I needed this right here. And I'm going to tell you what, by George, I needed it as much as anybody, because my friends thought I was freaking crazy. And I thought I was crazy. I knew I was. Look at me. Crazy dude. Just happy that
we get a lot of friends and family who get so overwhelmed at times with the information, and I try to help by, if it's something that somebody is telling you and it's fearful, that is not of God, and you have to use your own due diligence to shuffle through it. But if you try to do whatever you can do as authentically as you can, and even though the individual you're talking to, whether it's friend or family member or somebody, and they say, well, look right here, I'm Googling it right now, and it says you're a conspiracy theorist. Mm-hmm. And it says that this is not true, that they are not bad people. I'm like, that is absolutely 100% correct. What? What do you mean it's correct? You just said it's not correct. I said, no. I'm giving you information that has been found. Has it been uh, has it been adjudicated yet? Has it been brought to the law yet? Has a judge said you're guilty yet? Has it went through the Supreme Court yet? No. So technically, Grok or whatever is still correct because you're innocent until you're proven guilty. And we still have to give them, irregardless if we think that Bill Gates had sexual relations with children, or we know due to our research and what we found through Pizzagate and all that Hillary Clinton cut the face off a child and ate organs. Do we think that? Yes, due to our research. Now, is she guilty? Not yet. So that information, you could either look at that and stick with that, or step out of the box, like Eddie says, and you do your own due diligence of research, because you're not going to find any truth in a Google or a Grok or whatever they call it. And rightly so right now, also due to the how big of a mission this is. We're not going to hear President Trump come out and say what it is that we know he knows, due to the fact he can't. And that's part of Operation Security as well. He has a certain narrative that he can only say. There is a lot of whack-a-mole going on, even still to this moment in our Department of Justice. What's that gentleman's name that was let go by the Assistant Attorney General?
Ed Martin.
Ed Martin.
Sorry.
Ed Martin is a patriot, and he's a hard charger, and he has been hitting these grand juries hard, especially the Southern District of New York. Why would he be let go, right? And people are like, oh, one of Trump's boys are gone. He must be bad. But there's more to the story. And these are things that do confuse people. But it's either you keep your faith in God, number one, for yourself. Look to people that are taking the due diligent time to do the research. Do we over embellish things? Do I tell you you're stupid if you don't listen to me? No. You got to find, and it doesn't matter. You don't need to listen to me or anybody. But if you want the truth, look to people that have taken the thousands of hours over these last 10 years. And we'll be the first ones to tell you, you know what, I was incorrect about this or whatever, and we will change our ways. I mean, it's not like we're, we know everything. But I guess what I'm trying to say is be comfortable with who you are as a person first. And if you feel the energy, the negative energy, that is the devil. And the devil does not want you to know the truth. And just don't give up, I guess. I'm trying to think of there's times I can just let it right out. There's sometimes I just get lost for words, but just don't give up.
Happens.
Amen.
We can't give up. You know that the thing about the Ed Martin that I was able to find out,
He's coming back.
was that what's his name? Oh, Todd Blanchard was the one that fired him, right? And he did not inform the White House and President Trump was the one that has appointed him directly to be part of that committee of the Justice Department for Government Weaponization Group. He was appointed directly by the president. Where did this guy come out and say that he had the authority to fire him? Okay, so what does that bring up? That brings up that he's a plant. He's part of that bureaucracy that's been there for so long that it's not their agenda of the bureaucracy of those people. So they're going to try to, throw a monkey wrench in everything that it's trying to be done, and then going about that. If you guys give me a minute here to tell you the news, the stuff that I have found, which to me was very interesting. We had the raid in Fulton County. We had the one in Maricopa. Am I correct on those two?
Yes.
Well, one that wasn't reported, there was one in Puerto Rico too.
Yes.
Okay. And the one in Puerto Rico, all that information, all the machines were turned over to the DNI Gabber, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes.
Because they found out that there was reported failure of over 70% of polling stations. And I know for a fact that nobody in Puerto Rico likes their governor. Oh, they want that woman gone. And I think this is one of the ways. This is how the audacity of people that think that they have all the power in the world, they put in, the Freedom of Information Act.
Mm-hmm.
That we have in the United States as part of the federal government and state and all that stuff. They outlawed it. They put in a law that you cannot use that. You cannot find out anything about the government. The government is not going to give you any information.
Right.
And then going to the Fulton County raid, the Atlanta FBI Bureau Chief, or ASAC, Paul Brown, was removed from his position in Atlanta because he let the Fulton County people know, election board, that there was a warrant that was going to be effectuated on them. And he went to the extent that gave them a list of all the stuff that they were going to look at and pick up. Okay. Now it gets even more interesting because now failure to answer a search warrant from a government agency puts everybody in that department into trouble, because the FBI was told that the director of election director in Fulton County clerk, they claimed that they had 700 boxes referenced to the election. Well, guess what? During the raid, the FBI was only able to recover 656 of the 700. So that leaves them 44 boxes short, which tells you what's in there. Raises the thing. I like what's in there. But the Paul Brown, the ASAC for the FBI in Atlanta, he is going to jail. He's been fired, he's been removed, but he most likely he'll come up on the charges. All right. Oh, it's going to be a great halftime. What do you call that event?
Show.
Or
Show at the
at the Olympics, at the Super Bowl, because I mean, I don't like Bad Bunny, but it's supposedly, of what I heard today, of what I was able, the FBI is opening an investigation on Bad Bunny because they believe that he was involved with the Maduro administration or government in money laundering. Can you believe that?
Right. Crazy, isn't it?
Then if you guys don't mind, I continue on with this stuff because I'm excited about this.
Yeah, rock and roll, brother.
In Venezuela, who was the number 3 man, and this guy, Diosdado Cabello, was one of the generals that was in charge of the colectivos. The colectivos was a group that, if you've seen them, they were always dressed in black, and they were on motorcycles. They kidnap people, they execute them, they did all types of stuff. Well, he was in charge of that. He was given by the administration, our administration, 48 hours to turn himself in. But this guy has looked for asylum in the Spanish embassy in Venezuela, in Caracas. Okay, that's there. Then and about Cuba is really hurting bad because the president, Canelo, is telling everybody that they have no way of the government have no way of providing them for food, water, electricity, the basic needs for survival because of the embargo of the United States. But they're still open for talks on any issue with the United States. So I would say that maybe by the end of the month, Cuba is free. That's the way, because the population is going to put the pressure on them. Yeah, and they're not going to have any choice if they're smart, because otherwise they wind up being hung in the city's center.
Right.
Then there was okay. This is talking about Nick Shirley, and he was being interviewed by Sean Ryan, and Sean Ryan made the comment, you want to tell me, I'm kind of mixing it all together, Sean Ryan says that you want to tell me you started a business with your mother. You have a mic. The only thing that you have a microphone, and you busted one of the biggest news in the country, right? You destroyed all the media, Fox News, MSNBC, ABC, NPR, PBS, Newsmax, and you name it, that have millions of dollars to put their investigators in, and you and your mother, and you with a little microphone and a camera, you busted open the biggest fraud news in the States in a long time.
He did.
Okay, one more. Okay, are we good on time? One more.
Yeah, we're okay. We ain't worried about nothing.
All right, this one is exciting because it tells you right here how a particular president of a president of a country is doing. And I'm talking about Bukele from El Salvador, right? He's been in power for roughly 8.5 years. His approval rate is 91.9% from the citizens. And the newspaper who published that rate or published that news is the opposition newspaper. Okay?
Yes.
That's big. Well, to add more to it, the country of Guatemala, which is the bordering country with El Salvador, wants him to run for president of Guatemala. And according to the Constitution of Guatemala, he can do it while being president of El Salvador. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Can you believe that?
Yeah,
that is freaking awesome.
It is. It's a trip how things are happening and working out. It's It's getting pretty crazy. We know that, and I know everybody that follows us probably knows that I'm all into elections, and I want the free and fair elections. I want free money. There's a lot of people that don't worry about elections, and just is what it is. They don't mean nothing, but over the years, our government has stolen our money. The money that we send up there for anything has just been taken, and the reason for that is that our elections have been compromised, stolen, and people have been placed up there. It's not because we did something wrong with it, whatever. It's because of elections being stolen. Big Pharma has come up and they're killing people. And the reason for that is because the people that we think we elect in elections are not making the right laws. They're letting that happen. They are on their team. Taxes are ridiculous. And that's because of elections and because the people that are up there are just taking and spending it and taking and put it in their pocket. Drugs are coming across the border daily. I mean, tons. And it's because of elections and because of the people that we think we have put in or elected. I mean, we think we've elected, and they've just been put in there. Everything that is happening and is going wrong stems from freaking elections. So you know what? Maybe we ought to change things up and think about them a little bit, pay them some attention, fix it. And that's what we're going through now. It's not just like Obama came in and decided to steal elections, or Clinton, or Biden. Look, this is from a foreign entity. How can somebody sit by and let foreign actors, a foreign entity, come in and just corrupt our entire lives? Our elections, our schools, our medicine, everything about our lives. That's what, and it stemmed every bit of it from them cheating on elections. Now, prove me wrong, somebody. Does that make sense? Yes, it makes freaking sense because it's true. Who's done that? Foreign entities out of Venezuela, out of China, out of freaking Cuba, out of Serbia, out of Italy, all across the freaking world. And it just is what it is. So if you say, hey, man, it don't matter about, elections, maybe you ought to think about that a little bit, because they own the machines. If a China-based company built and sent those through Taiwan or wherever, Japan, wherever, and then we get them and they're in there in our elections, and they are able to affect the will of the people, and you think that's okay? Sorry, and I don't think that way. So I am all about it. I'm going to continue to put out the best information I can about those elections, and I think it's pertinent. A lot of things are pertinent. There's a lot of reasons why, but a lot of it stems back to how, whether we've let this happen, whether we've just been duped, whether it's psychological warfare, whatever it is. But I can't downplay the connection between, if you want to buy elections, you go to Venezuela. If you want to buy terrorism, you go to Iran. If you want to buy bread, you go to a bakery. It's the same freaking thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One of the things that I've in my law enforcement career and military career, I had the opportunity.
Good people do nothing. But evil wins.
To work with the different 3-letter agencies in the United States. Okay. And then when I got into law enforcement, I kind of deep down inside of me, I always knew that somebody in one of those agencies knew what was coming through the border. at any given time.
Right.
Okay. And it wasn't until now that I, kind of like opened my eyes and became and gotten more into the program and into the movement that I realized I was right the whole time. People know what's coming through the whole 24/7. They know, but they're not sharing that information in order to stop it where it counts, because it's always about the RICO case
Yes.
for the AUSAs
Yeah.
and the agents. I did the RICO case. I got this whole organization down. That's the reason why the information is not, shared with the people on the line who are the ones that are there, day in, day out, 16 hours at a time, working, trying to find the drugs and everything else that comes down. So
What were you going to say, Bill?
All right.
Oathkeeper Bill, were you going to say something? So what I'd say about that is, yes, it is very important, and they are, wow, they're being taken like crazy. Bill, did you hear me? He can't hear us.
he looks like he's frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah.
You were going
Hello?
to say something a second ago. You were going to say something a second
Okay.
ago.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, I turned on and off my microphone. I apologize.
No problem.
Our good friend Joe, 82nd Airborne, sent a little Mark Twain, if I could just read it real quick. In the beginning of a change, the patriot is a scarce man. The brave and hated are scorned. When his cause succeeds, the timid join high, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot. There are a lot of cowards. That's just the way it is. There's a lot of folks that, even my sheriff identifies. It's great to get comments of, hey, thank you, Sheriff, for what you did. Thank you for standing up for us. Well, where were you? Where are you? Where are you? Come forward, And it's so important right now. And we know right now we have a weekend ahead of us. The Super Bowl is going to be worldly watched worldwide. There's going to be a lot of military comms, and I know I've got friends that said, you said that last year, you said that. Well, there were comms last year, there were comms the year before as well. Due to what we're dealing with,
You're cutting out real bad, Bill. We can't. We can
we
hear
are
about
at
every other
the
word.
end of, what is it you call that?
Can't understand you. Go out and come back in. We'll get him back in. We got about 8 minutes, but I want everybody to know that JD Vance is in charge of a task force that is doing some big stuff in California. There's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if we find out, who knows? It'd be a trip. It would be a trip if you had somewhere like the biggest county in America, like LA County, and their elections, let's say their ballots, are so messed up, not because they're late or whatever, just because they threw them away and made up all fake ballots. If that came out here in the next few days, that would be a trip.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Indictments are coming down the road quickly. Indictments are out. There are more than you can imagine. They've got them. In the background, I am hearing things like, yes, it's more about some little celebration instead of we got to do this and we got to do that and we got to do this and we got to do that. There are big things going on, and really and truly, a lot of it has to do with the elections. It is worth looking into. Now, I believe that we are not going to be all the way fixed and totally taken care of by the midterms, but we're going to be okay, and we're going to have enough taken care of that we're going to be okay. But by 28, we're good, and we are good. What we got to do is have the laws that we make get Congress off their rear end and get them to put it into law. That's one of the big things going up. There's major cleanup, whether it's DUMBs, whether it's ICE doing their job. And just so everybody knows, you don't have to be worried and scared about ICE. I don't care what nationality you are. Now, if you're here illegally, we'd love for you to go out and come back in, but do it legally and learn the language, please. I think it'd be a good idea, good for you, good for everybody, good for America if you knew the language and could communicate, because we're built on immigrants. What in the world? That's us. We need you and your participation, just like we need you at join.papershoot.com. We do. I want to repeat that a lot of people have been, China, man, we're in trouble on China. Oh, man, what are we going to do about this? They're all going to gang up on us. It's going to look like they're going to gang up on us. But I'm sorry, when somebody tells me, and I know for a fact, or I believe, that Hezbollah is about 1% of what they were a year to year and a half ago. ISIS is about 3% of what they were a year ago. As far as military is concerned, Israel are some pretty bad mothers. Nobody really wants to mess with Israel. They can't hardly get a bomb in there, Well, they ain't got but 30% of the technology we got. We are the bad mothers, and we don't want to go. The group we have now are wonderful because they're not wanting to go in and pillage and take and steal. We want to go in there and help, because when you start seeing someone like Venezuela and what people would go through if we did to them what we did to other countries, where children are in the middle of the road getting blown up and killed and nobody cares. We're just sitting over here happy-go-lucky. Our previous administrations are the cabal. They are nasty, and people around the world shouldn't like us. We are nasty. Well, we're going to fix that, and we're well on our way. I don't care if you're red, black, green, orange. We bleed red, man. We bleed red. This is not Democrat versus Republican. This is globalists against us Americans. But they're also against every other country. Right now, and over the last 10 years, I believe that each country has been fighting the cabal in their country. And when they've done all they can do, then bigger countries are going to come in and assist with that. That means that they might, if military is fighting against the people, trying to keep it under control, and they have superior numbers or superior firepower or whatever's going on, it would be cool if the U.S. government took their phones and communication away from them and gave the people communication, which has happened. I'm sorry. Things are happening. We are helping. Other big countries are helping. And what do you call that? We call it Nasara Gassara.
Yep. It's all in the Board of Peace. It's all in the big, beautiful bill, the Genius Act, the SAFE Act for our voting integrity. There's so much that is right in front of us. The answers are there. God bless Wano Sabin in Tokyo, Japan. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. God bless you, Mr. President. Please pay attention to Assistant Chief Sean Taylor, who is retired. He needs you to get that task force going. I just wanted to throw that out there again.
By the way, I'll have him on tap on Monday night at 6 o'clock Central.
Cool.
So, and
Good
by
night,
the way, hey, see you, Bill. Thank you so much. I'll see you in talk
Hi,
time.
Bill. And let's not forget, let the bodies hit the flow.
I like it. I like it. Thanks, Edward. Hope you. I'll see
Thank
you.
you.
I'll see you in talk time too. I got a lot to go
You
over.
got it.
Appreciate you. Bye. Different, you know, whether you come to PPN, whether you go to other stations, there's going to be, here at PPN, we might have one opinion, and another place they might have another opinion, and it's okay. There's different opinions going on. My opinion is that we are in very good shape, and there are fixing to be very good things happen, but there are going to be nasty things happen coming right now. They have started their chaos. Minnesota. Mothers and fathers, please know that I've been talking for 4 or 5 years about talk to your children if you can. They're not my children, they're yours. Whatever capacity you want to do it in, whatever. And I thought it was going to be college children, that they were going to, college adults, whatever you'll call, are going to be, they're going to try to get them in the streets rioting. But what they've done is these nasty suckers have gone in and brought 12 to 14-year-old kids without permission slips and let them go out and teaching them what they call civics. They're calling it civics to have these kids break out of school, skip school, and go and protest with some kind of crushed ice poster under their arms. If that happens, and we have not let our children know, hey, if that happens, give me a call, get in touch with me. It might be a bad idea to do that. That is an unsafe environment, because they will then become useless human shields to something that can happen very quickly while people are protesting. They want uniforms, the people, and then what they call useless human shields in between them so that they can cause false flags. Anything you can think of. Don't let those kids, your children, in my opinion, be out there where there used to be bricks when we had that George Floyd thing going on, and bricks and freaking bricko blocks and stuff to throw, because this time it might be something different. It might be bats and guns and ammunition. I don't know. I don't know that, but that's what's supposed to happen. But we have foiled a lot of that. Please take that into consideration when you're deciding how to approach children. If you're going to approach children, I say that, and I probably didn't do it fast enough. I probably haven't done good enough, but I know in my heart that's what I needed to do and what I need to do better on. And maybe that would help you. Chaos will be starting here pretty soon. And if we know that, okay, they know, the bad guys know about all the indictments. They have been approached. Every one of them has been approached. They know it's coming. They are getting ready with whatever ability they have. So please keep prayed up. Please be able to protect yourself. It is not silly to try to fortify your home or understand what fortifying your home, neighborhood, road, freaking whatever. It's not silly. That is protecting what you own, your family, your possessions. That is being smart. That's keeping your head on a swivel. That's being prepared, and that's being maybe our duty. Our duty is also to get involved as much as we can, rock and roll with it. This is coming to a head, and it's going to be hard to watch, but it's going to be worth it, because maybe our children won't go through some of the craziness that's gone on that some of us didn't even know happened. Remember, these people that are going through this whole thing with blinders on and they have no idea. It's because of surveillance systems and algorithms. And those algorithms are keeping up with what they watch. And they are showing them totally different information than, let's say, I'm getting. If you're watching social media and you watch this and this and this, and all of a sudden you watch something else, well, that's going to introduce those things. It's not going to show you a different opinion. Now, it will try to on us, but it's not going to show us what CNN's playing. If they're watching CNN and these freaking far left, stupid, freaking nasty sacks of blah, that's all it's going to show them. They don't know unless they talk to you, talk to us, talk to somebody that's halfway enlightened. They're not getting the information you're getting. So what we've got is we got wakey time coming. And they're going to come to their friendly neighborhood conspiracy theorist. And when that happens, it's time for us to shine. Make it your duty to have your information that you want to give ready and handy, where you can flick that sucker out like a switchblade and tell what your opinion is, and tell it well. You need to be able to talk to the garbage man, the hole digger, the country boy, the New Yorker, the doctor, the lawyer. So come on now, speak other people's languages, have it together, study it. Study it. I mean, it's okay. Study it. If you want to. Might make it easier. Thanks for joining. Come hang out with us at join.patriotsuit.com. We'd love to have you. We're building a family. We have ways to help you get involved. Chaz has built a wonderful platform here. He's done it all himself with those magical fingers he's got. And we need the participation. We want the participation. We want you. We think you have value. I think everybody has value. If you use what you've got, bring your skills. We'll bring ours. We'll all get together and we'll make this world a better place. We will really get involved more and more at making America great again. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good evening and bye. Or a good weekend. Bye.